Hey kids, here's the story about the day you were born, Atlas. Now, just a couple of weeks before we were expecting you to arrive, we found out that we had to move out of our rental property. Now, your mum being your mum, she was straight onto it, researching places that we could actually move to. And we found a place, this gorgeous, amazing place, where we actually are now. And we started packing, getting ourselves organized, going through and packing the whole house up. We made the decision that we were going to move on the 11th of November. Now, interesting thing was, on the 10th, we went through, I hired a truck, we packed up the whole house, this 5-bedroom house, we packed up the whole thing, all ready to go. Got to about 11:30 at night, and I said, Sam, you gotta get some rest. She was 8.5 months pregnant, walking around, up and down stairs, packing boxes, and she finally went to sleep at 11:30. Now, it was only actually 2.5 hours later, or about 3 hours later, that at 2:30, bang, you said that you were coming. And so 2:30 in the morning, we jumping out of bed, and Sam knew that it was time to go to the hospital immediately. Now, we went through and just were cruising along and got in the car. We actually had to leave Avalon. We had to leave you asleep in your bed while Nanny and Poppy were on their way. We went past them on the way as they went through to look after you, and we drove straight to the hospital. Now, we got to the hospital only just in time. Sam was just going through and she was ready. You were ready, Atlas. You wanted to be here. You wanted to come into this world. So I had to run inside to the emergency, grab a wheelchair for your mum. Your mum got in the wheelchair. I took her in, and there you were. You were there within 15 minutes of us arriving at the hospital. The nurse was fantastic. You were there. Your mum didn't take any painkillers. She was just right on it, and she just made sure that you were going to be alive and make this world a better place. Now, at that moment, we grabbed you, held you. We were only there for another 4 hours because we knew we had to get back and go and pack up the house and get moved to the new house. So, 4 hours after you were born, your mum had the checks, you were all good, she was all good. We got into the car and we drove to the new house where you sat with mum as we went through, and I went through with your uncle, and we moved the whole house in 5 or 6 truckloads, moving it from the old house to the new house. Meanwhile, as the day gets on, your mum is unpacking boxes. You're asleep on the ground and we're unpacking boxes. That just shows you just how determined your mum is. I'm so very blessed to have her in my life, and you are as well. The real great thing about your mum is that no matter what the obstacle, no matter what the problem is, she'll work through it and make sure that it happens. That determination is in you, and I love you. You stay awesome.